On the MTN News, a polarizing pill.
Walgreens is refusing to sell a controversial abortion pill in Montana and 20 other states.
Pharmacies don't want to get caught in the middle of the political arena, whether it should be legal, shouldn't be illegal.
We'll tell you why our state is on the no sale list.
Plus, a win for Wolverines.
First time Wolverines have ever been born at the zoo, so it's a big deal.
Why these new babies at Zoo Montana have animal advocates across the country howling in celebration.
And we take a trip back in time.
See the community's own personal images and what they thought was important in the frame at the moment.
How the Billings Library hopes to turn your old family photos into a historical document.
The MTN News starts right now.
From Montana's news leader, this is the MTN 530 News.
Good evening, everyone, and thanks for joining us on this Wednesday. I'm Russ Riesinger.
And I'm Andrea Lutz. The criticism continues tonight over a Walgreens decision to restrict access to abortion pills in 21 GOP-led states, including Montana.
Well, that choice, while frustrating for advocates, is not exactly shocking. In fact, it's something that lawmakers signaled would happen back in 2021 after a handful of abortion restriction bills were passed.
Tonight, our Charlie Kleps dives deeper into those bills and where they stand today.
That decision by Walgreens to not sell the abortion pill made national headlines, and it's already having a major impact on pharmacies all across Montana. Abortion is a divisive topic, and abortion pills are also polarizing.
As we've seen, there's been more and more red tape making it difficult to get it and difficult to provide it to the communities.
Farm 406 is one of several Montana pharmacies that decided to begin selling abortion pills after the FDA dropped a rule that previously prevented pharmacies from selling them. When MTN spoke with Austin the first week of January, he said the pills were about 3 to 6 weeks away from arriving. But recent controversy surrounding the pills has him rethinking that decision.
Pharmacies don't want to get caught in the middle of the political arena, whether it should be legal, shouldn't be illegal. We don't want to, and so we're kind of leaning where we probably won't carry it either.
Just this week, Walgreens decided to not sell the pills in 21 GOP-led states. This after a letter was signed by those 21 states' attorney generals, warning Walgreens that lawsuits would be filed if the national pharmacy chain offered the product in their states.
I don't agree with the decision because, again, it goes back to the government needs to make a decision. Is it legal or not legal? And healthcare providers need to put their personal views aside, and they need to be there to serve the community.
One of those 21 signees was Montana AG Austin Knutson. His office is applauding the move by Walgreens, saying, quote, Walgreens' decision is consistent with federal law and will help protect the safety of women and unborn children in Montana. Farm 406 does not carry the pill, but Austin says the controversy surrounding the pill isn't the only reason why he may not sell it. He says the certification process can be cumbersome and timely.
When you're adding it into the everyday of the pharmacy world, it comes down to, do I really have time to do it? When things are difficult, pharmacies just don't do it.
Regardless of what Farm 406 ultimately decides to do, he says the decision is a difficult one for pharmacies like his, focused on serving all customers no matter their political beliefs.
You know, at the end of the day, as a pharmacist here, I have to be open to everyone. I got to leave my personal views at home, and I have to provide information and products to those that want it and need it.
In Billings, Charlie Kleps, MTN News.
Check things out on Doppler radar this evening. You see some snow starting to develop Idaho through southern and central Wyoming. Right now, if we zoom down in the Billings area a bit, it's fairly quiet, but things could become more active throughout the evening hours of tonight. So as the snow starts to move off the Beartooth, watch as it wraps back around. Best snowmaking weather for Billings will be late this evening through overnight, and then this system will start to shift off into the eastern plains. This is where we're going to see the higher accumulations from this system. A little bit of a break on Thursday, and then late Friday we'll start to watch another system come in that could have some pretty big impacts, especially on the west-facing slopes of the mountains. Let's back up again and take a look at estimated accumulations. Notice this band from just around the Forsyth Mile City area. This is from the weather system overnight heading into tomorrow morning. Then after we take that break, check out the system on Friday. Pretty much anywhere in the state could see snow, and maybe heavy in the northeastern corner of Montana.
Well, spring is the season to welcome new life, and that's definitely the case at Zoo Montana.
And that is where they're saying hello to this pair, the cutest pair that you'll see, the first ever born Wolverines at the zoo.
And as MTN's Jackie Coffin tells us, it's quite the feat. In fact, it rarely happens in captivity.
We have a really cool opportunity today coming into the night house at Zoo Montana, where the Wolverine Amari is here with her 2 new kits, the newest members of Zoo Montana. They're just a couple weeks old, and we got to see them today.
What we decided to do is just kind of back away, let Mom Amari do her thing, and she's been a wonderful mom.
At Zoo Montana, there's a lot to celebrate.
First time Wolverines have ever been born at the zoo, so it's a big deal.
We're not gonna bother ya.
And for zoo guests strolling by, it was hard not to share in proud Dad Sid's excitement.
He's the coolest so far today.
And it's a big deal in the zoo world. Unfortunately, you just don't see many Wolverines being born in zoological parks, and so to be one of the few that were successful this year, it's an honor.
Zoo Montana welcomed the 2 kits in January, but had to keep the news tight-lipped.
A lot of times Wolverine babies in zoological parks don't make it over the 2 to 3 week hump. So we wanted to make sure that they were safe and that they were healthy as well.
Why Wolverines don't reproduce well in captivity is a mystery.
Oh, I know, I'm sorry.
To watch these baby Wolverines and how fast they grow has been remarkable.
Wolverines are native to Montana, but are elusive and rarely seen in the wild. There are only an estimated 300 in the United States. The ones here at Zoo Montana actually come from halfway around the world. Mom Amari is from Finland, Dad Sid is from Sweden. The 2 are part of a European breeding program called the Species Survival Program, targeting conservation.
Basically, this is a program for breeding to ensure genetic diversity. So if and when we need to release wild animal populations back into the wild, we can do so with a genetically viable line of animals.
Now, there's only one piece missing, and Ewalt says that will be up to the community.
So the next step is naming them. A lot of people want us to do a naming contest, so that's probably where we'll go.
In Billings, Jackie Coffin, MTN News.
And this is a true sign that spring is near. Yellowstone National Park biologists have reported the first grizzly bear sighting of 2023. That bear was spotted Tuesday during a flight over the Pelican Valley in the east central part of the park. Biologists estimate that bear weighed between 300 and 350 pounds and said it was spotted near the remains of a bison. Male bears emerge earlier than females with cubs, which typically come out of hibernation in late April or early May. Yellowstone has begun closing some roads in preparation for spring plow operations, but visitors to any part of the park are reminded to be bear aware and carry bear spray.
Glacier National Park is gearing up for another busy season. New this summer, vehicle reservations will be required at many Glacier and 2 Medicine, in addition to the North Fork and the Going to the Sun roads. And Glacier has a new leader to handle all of the busyness this season. Superintendent Dave Romer started his position in July of 2022, so this is the first full year for him on the job. He says his focus is managing those busy crowds, as 5 of the busiest seasons at the park have all come since 2017. He says it's a balancing act to make sure the park remains open and remains protected.
People aren't staying away. They want to come here. And we want to offer the best opportunities for people to explore and understand these resources at the crown of the continent. So it is part of our mission to welcome people to the park and to protect these park resources for future generations.
And not everyone agrees with the park ticket reservation system. Recently, Congressman Ryan Zinke criticized the system, calling it a scam to keep the public out of the national park.
Tonight we're digging through the archives at the Billings Public Library, looking for untold history that lives in books.
Library officials are hoping to preserve local history, but say to do so, they're going to need everyone's help. Our Alina Howder has the story.
Old photos of Billings like this one showing the Northern Pacific Station in the city give so much insight to the city's past. And now the Billings Public Library is on a mission to highlight photos from the 60s to the 90s, and they need your help.
We would love to have your picture, knowing where it was in Billings.
Photos like this one are already a part of the Montana History Portal, a free online hub where people can find historical images, documents, and audio clips of Montana.
We have a great amount of photos already on there, but mostly from the early 1900s, late 1800s, things like that. Really what we're missing though is this stretch of time from the 60s, 70s, 80s, and 90s.
That's where you come in.
We're more interested in what's going on in the location.
Billings Public Library archivist Joe Lanning says the Community Archive Project is about keeping history alive from a personal perspective.
It's just a matter of sharing what you had to see, what you thought was important, and other people love to look at that kind of stuff. I know we do.
The photos can be of Billings events, landmarks, notable people, and can even be something as simple as what the interior of your home looked like.
That's a block house in Fort Logan. I didn't know where it was and where it was taken, all that kind of stuff, but I can do that with people's permission. So we really just want to say, get us your photos and then we'll reach out later to get all the details if possible.
If your photo is digitized, great. You can send it to the Billings Public Library Facebook page through Messenger or through email. And if it's still just a hard copy, no problem either.
We have a great memory lab in our library where we have very high quality scanners that can capture your photo, can digitize it, put it on a flash drive.
The library will be accepting photos until May 1st, and then we'll keep those memories alive for the generations to come. In Billings, Alina Howder, MTN News.
Still to come on the MTN 530 News on Q2, we'll head to Boulder Elementary, where we find the future generation of journalists, and we'll let them ask the tough questions next.
And in sports, we met a golden bear finding success on the court while enjoying unique hobbies off of it. Stay with us.
The MTN 530 News continues right after this.